Are you looking for someone to help you with your roof, siding, and gutters projects? Look no further than CRC Renovations. Serving the Lexington and surrounding communities for over 20 years, this family-based company can help you with all of your exterior needs. Call the folks over at CRC Renovations at 859-327-3913. Again, that's 859-327-3913.
Sean, I noticed your landscaping the other day looks fantastic. I hate landscaping. I know that you aren't a big fan of landscaping. Who did it for you?
Well, it wasn't me.
Well, I didn't figure.
I contacted the guys over at Horizon Landscaping. Mike and Jimmy, they did an excellent job. And it was super affordable.
Are they local?
They are local. And you can reach them on Facebook by reaching out to Mike Wills, or you can call them at 859-274-6571. Again, that's 859-274-6571 for all of your landscaping needs.
Well, I'm definitely going to give them a call. Thanks.
5 seconds left. Boston only has a 1-point lead.
Rees putting the ball on a play. He gets it out deep and
Havlicek steals it. Over the stand throws. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over.
Oh, my goodness. Sorrentine hit that one from the parking lot. And Vermont has a 59-55 lead.
Swung line drive left field. One run is in. Here comes Bream. Here's the front of the plate. He is safe. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win.
Schultz, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
it's showtime.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and sports enthusiasts from around the world. This is the podcast you have all been waiting for. Whether listening in the car, on your morning drive, or with one earbud in at the office, this is the sports show that has it all. From pro wrestling to the octagon, from the gridiron to the baseball diamond, from the pitch to the ice, it's all here. You have tuned in to Mount Sterling's most downloaded podcast that drops on Saturdays at 3 a.m. This is not your average podcast. This is From Corner to Corner. And now, here are your hosts, Sean Big Papa Kiper, Wes Breadman Crouch, Adam Big Country Muncy, and Neil Mullet Man Payne.
And welcome back to another episode of From Corner to Corner. Sean and Neil here with you tonight, and special guests,
Hayden Barrier.
Hayden Barrier.
Welcome to the show.
Guest, not guests.
Well, I mean, listen, when you got a game like Hayden, it's guest. We talk about it in plurals.
Mad game, right?
Mad game.
So, well, Hayden, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, anytime.
So we wanted to, we wanted to bring you on and talk to you about, your recruitment process. You're going into your senior year. You kind of reclassified, moved up from the junior year to the senior year, and back down and back up. So you're like a yo-yo back and forth with that. So,
yes.
But we're definitely in the senior year, right? So big high hopes for this season.
Yes.
Trying to clobber that monster Clark County again, right? So that's our goal there. But we wanted to talk about your recruitment process because you recently committed to Youngstown State. So you had committed to Miami, is that right? And then some backdoor stuff there happened there. Yeah, Miami of Ohio. Some crazy stuff happened up with that. You wound up having to, open your recruitment back up, and then you wound up at Youngstown. So that's what we want to talk about. Let's talk about that kind of stuff. So what happened with Miami?
Oh, well, I committed probably, do you think it was, I don't know, maybe like May of?
Mom says May.
Yeah, Mom says May. And I may have been committed a solid 2 weeks before the coach got fired for
She just got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know how that goes.
Was she the main reason why you were wanting to go?
Just the staff as a whole was really good in my opinion. It was an all-female staff, which was kind of different from every other place I've been to, but I liked it and I was content.
So at the time, Miami, Ohio felt like the place.
Yeah. I thought it was, when they offered me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to school here. So.
Okay, so let's back up even a little further. You play, obviously, for Montgomery County. You play for the West Virginia Thunder. How has playing for Montgomery County and playing for West Virginia prepared you for college, in your opinion?
West Virginia Thunder has definitely been more of like accepting my role on a team with the players that I'm playing with. Like, I play with 2 Olympians, so obviously,
I mean, they're decent.
Yeah, like I'm not doing the same thing I would be doing in high school, but I think that my high school team has kind of shown me more of like what being a leader looks like, because I don't know. I feel like that's more of my role on that team than it is on West Virginia Thunder. So
so in Montgomery County, it's everybody's come to expect Hayden to. We need a basket. We're going to go to Hayden. Mm-hmm. And for West Virginia, when you play AAU, that's not the case, because, as you said, you play with Olympians. You play with, Power 5 college signees. So while you can still shoot it if you have to, sometimes I just need you to go in there and just hound somebody defensively, or sometimes I just need you to pass the ball. So it has allowed you to grow in that aspect, correct?
Yes.
And that will probably benefit you at the next level.
Yeah, I think so.
So speaking of the next level, when you talked with Youngstown, how did they tell you, like, how do you fit into their plans?
Well, they run a 4-out, 1-in, so just a bunch of shooters.
I was going to say, I'm a dummy, so what does that mean?
Yeah, just like 4 shooters and then a big girl under the basket.
So you're the big girl under the basket.
Right.
Right, okay, all right.
No shooting for me.
You're just going to use there grabbing rebounds.
Right, yeah.
So they're pushing the ball, looking for high-scoring opportunities in that layout then.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I play best like that, and we kind of play like that some in West Virginia Thunder, just really moving the ball down the floor, but it gets to a point where, like, if someone's open on the perimeter, we can all shoot it, so you're going to shoot it. So I think playing for a college team like that is going to be kind of something I'm used to. So
does that sound crazy to you that I'm talking about shooting it at the collegiate level, and not just like at Berea? Yeah. Like Trent Milby didn't bring you in here at Berea. You're going to D1 Youngstown. Like, what's the thought process? Like, has it sunk in? Like, hey, was that always the goal? Was it, if it was there, I'd like to do it? What's the, like, where does that stand?
The whole, like, shooting it at the collegiate level was kind of intimidating when I was younger and, like, just getting into my recruitment process. But especially this year, I've played against girls who are literally committed to, like, South Carolina's, Tennessee, like, places like that. So it's like I'm kind of playing against people like that already. Doesn't really bother me. But, yeah, this has kind of always been the goal.
Nice.
College basketball. So
first it was Miami, Ohio, and I'm just over talking you. Sorry. First it was Miami, Ohio. Now it's Youngstown State. So what about both those places was when you walked in? And because I've heard that, like, Sacred Heart was nice.
Yeah.
And you've been places that was Bellarmine. You had a visit at Bellarmine. Bellarmine's obviously closer.
Yeah.
What about Youngstown State? Like, what about it where when you went there, you're like, yep, this is it?
Well, they had us stay in like a hotel, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes away from campus, and it wasn't like super crowded or whatever, but it was still like a town or whatever, but on campus you were like in town, like downtown.
Right.
And I liked that because it felt like I could kind of have a mix of like, okay, I'm home, but like not really, because I can be in town if I'm on campus. And then when I went to Miami, though, it was a really small town, really small college town. And I liked it because I was young, and I was like, I don't want to leave home. But as I've gotten older, it's kind of changed.
Wasn't that May?
Yeah.
So you weren't that much younger.
I guess not.
A lot can change in 5 months.
That is true. But
Hey, look, she already went through that recruitment process, thought it was over with, and then 2 weeks later, like, all right, got to start all over again. I just grew up. Now I got to go again.
right.
What it is, she wants to get away from mom and dad's. What it is.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Sorry, guys.
So having, we've talked about your mom a time or two. Having somebody who has went through that process, was that beneficial to you? And tell me about the process. Like, obviously, I wasn't recruited at a high level at all. I had one offer to play collegiate soccer, and I accepted that one offer. So there weren't people knocking down my doors like, "Hey, come play soccer here." Getting letters, getting phone calls, that has to be overwhelming at some point. So what kind of advice would you give to an upcoming athlete that, has collegiate abilities to handle that situation?
Well, Mom, when she talks about her recruitment process, it was a lot different than what it is now, just because, like, it's honestly a business for these colleges, and they make it pretty obvious. So a common thing recently has just been players, like, setting boundaries about, like, when coaches can contact them. They're like, I'm not going to be taking calls Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Right.
And, like, honestly, that's good. I think that's healthy. Like, you have to prioritize time for yourself, or you're going to get completely overwhelmed and sick of it.
Right. Well, and when your mom, the biggest difference with your mom's recruiting process is that social media wasn't a thing.
Right.
And, like, coaches and
cell phones wasn't a thing. It was like, got to call the house.
Right.
Talk to mom, talk to dad. Can I talk to Beth?
20-foot cord, the rotary phone, the ching. But I would imagine that sometimes, and like you said, those boundaries, sometimes coaches have to think that, well, I have 24-hour access to this player. And they have to think that, well, more is better. If I show her that I really like her, I really want her, that's got to be better on the flip. But what I'm getting is, like, it's like, no, that drives me away. Like, I don't want, you're like the just over top of it. I don't want that. So you would suggest setting those boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you're going to get worn out, like, just tired of it.
So I'm curious, now that you've, like, recommitted to Youngstown State.
Words are hard.
Do you still get other coaches reaching out to you trying to get to change your mind?
There has been, like, a couple smaller places that I don't even know if they realize that I've committed, but they still have, like, reached out. I think, like, Anderson University, Cumberland sent me something the other day, but I think more of it's like they don't really know. Now,
of course, you still have your senior year to go too.
So
do you feel like that there might be the possibility of somebody coming in and you'd be like, oh, hold on just a second?
Honestly, no.
Yeah.
I'm really just content.
You were ready to get it over with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanted to get it to weight off your shoulders.
Well, and I can understand that.
Sure.
Going into the senior year, the work's done, right? Now you just got to focus on, staying healthy, get through the senior year, and be ready to walk in, next summer, I guess, is probably when you would have to go, and get to work for them. Now, do you know this? Are you slotted to get playing time as a freshman? Are they going to redshirt you, or,
They haven't mentioned anything about playing time, redshirting, or anything like that, but I know that they have some, like, kind of upperclassmen, I guess, like sophomores, juniors, that can really shoot. So, I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't play a ton, maybe end of fourth quarter when we're winning by a lot or losing by a lot. But
that's a question I was going to ask, is that, it looks like they were 13-7 last year, basically tied for third in the conference. And so when Coach talked to you about, coming on and offering you a scholarship and whatnot, did they say anything like, we've had a lot of seniors leave or whatnot? It looks like they're in a pretty good position right now to where they could grow and even go out and win the Horizon League.
They haven't said anything. I don't think now, if there were kids that transferred that, like, entered the portal, I highly doubt that they would have, like, went and told me, like, yeah, we had, like, 5 girls enter the portal. But they haven't mentioned anything, and I would be surprised, honestly, if they had more than one girl leave.
Gotcha.
Only 20 games? Did you say 13-7?
13-7. Well, that's just in the conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, man,
No,
how'd they get away with only playing 20 games?
They were 17-13 overall.
Okay.
So the coach at Youngstown, what's their name?
Coach Barnes.
Coach Barnes. Yes. So we've had Coach Dustin High on a time or two, and he is one of the most, all golly gee shucks kind of guy there is.
Right.
But one thing that we have all come away with after talking with him and seeing him coach and interact with you guys is that there is definitely a relationship there with him and his players.
Yes.
It seems like that you all really like him and will and play really hard for him. Do you see some of those same qualities in Coach High that in the little bit that you've got to know Coach Barnes?
Yes, actually, they remind me a lot of each other. He, from what I've heard and seen, is very, down to earth. He's not going to get in your face and yell at you. And he's, not going to cuss you out in practice, but he's going to tell you, pretty disappointed in the way you've been practicing.
Which hurts worse.
Yes. No, I think that, he may make me cry if he sits me down. It's yeah, I'm really disappointed in what
Hayden, I'm really disappointed in you.
Yeah.
It's can you just kick me out of practice, Coach? Can you just cuss me and kick me out of practice?
Right. Yeah, but they do remind me of each other.
Just tell me I'm ugly or something.
Just tell me my shot is broken. So, how long has Coach Barnes been at Youngstown State?
11 years.
11 years, okay. Had to lean on Dad on that.
Yeah.
That's one of those dad facts that we know.
But see, that's a good thing, right? There's some stability there. It's not one of those first-time coaches or they've only been there a year or two that if they're not doing something the way they want, then, you could wind up with a coaching change in the middle of that. 11 years seems to be there's some give to that to allow them to do what they want to do.
Yes.
So,
obviously, it has to be somewhat difficult and come with some pressure to play basketball in Montgomery County when your mother has a sign entering town that the home of Miss Basketball. So, how have you handled that? Because obviously, and we're going to talk with. We have talked. This is the Saturday show. We have talked with your mom and Coach Kindred. Okay, and you all aren't the same player. Your games are completely different.
Yeah.
So how have you handled that pressure? And it's listen, I'm not trying to be Beth. I'm not trying to be my mom. Right. I'm trying to be the best version of Hayden that I can be. Mm-hmm. So how have you handled that pressure?
I really just try to separate myself from my mom. I keep in my head that, we aren't the same person. Like you said, we don't play the same way. And I'm not saying that, Mom couldn't have played at the level that she did if she was playing today. But the game is completely different.
It is. Mm-hmm.
And so I think that older people especially, who are, stuck in their ways, yeah, Mom, Mom was a lot better than you are.
She played when there was no three-point line.
Dang. That's hard.
Old man West throwing darts he don't have to throw.
He's older than everybody in this room by 10 years.
Right behind him. That's dangerous.
So, and you are right. The game's completely different now.
Yeah.
And it's taken over by the Caitlin Clarks of the world.
Mm-hmm.
My hero. I love Caitlin.
I love Caitlin Clark.
He loves Caitlin
awesome.
Clark.
She is.
So I'm going to give you an opportunity to brag a little bit. I'm sure you've seen some of your mom's footage. You've heard stories, all this stuff. What's something that Hayden does better than her mom?
Play defense.
Oh,
she didn't even have to think about it.
That's worse than that comment.
So you're trying to say that she didn't give it her all on the defensive end.
She, I'm pretty sure, would admit herself that she was not big on defense.
Well,
But, and it sounds like where you're going to be going, there's not going to be a lot of defense played there either. Jacking up three-pointers. You got, 4 people shooting threes. One girl in the middle trying to get all them rebounds all by herself.
In the middle. She's going to be the post player. But doing those things, and I'm glad you said that answer because that ties back into your time with West Virginia where you had to do things that you don't have to do here.
Yeah.
So that can be an opportunity for you to earn your playing time by being that dog type defender that is going to just irritate you from the moment you get off the bus.
Right.
So I mean that could benefit you in the long run.
I think it will, honestly.
Yeah. So, what conference does Youngstown State play in?
Did I
Horizon.
Did I just say that a minute ago?
Yeah,
You
Horizon.
did not say that.
I did do that. Did say
Horizon
that.
League.
I don't think he said it.
Okay.
That's how I know it because he said it.
He did.
You won't know because you don't listen to the show.
I
so.
don't listen to the show.
Yeah, but it is Horizon League.
You all are lying. He didn't.
Which
say that.
isn't that's like Wichita State's in that, right?
Wichita State,
Northern
Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what schools? Talking about your recruitment, we know about Miami, Ohio. We know about Sacred Heart. We know about Youngstown
Moorhead.
State, Moorhead. What schools can you honestly say were on, like, in contention? Bellarmine was there. Like, what schools were in contention for the services of Hayden Barrier?
Well, I was about to commit to UNC Wilmington.
Forgot about them.
Yeah, like honestly, like I was about to commit, and then they were like, "We had someone take your spot." It's like, nice.
That has to be super disheartening.
Oh, it is, especially after having to decommit from Miami. I was feeling like, okay, like this is where I want to go. No, someone take your spot. So, like, okay,
So
back to
that's where the
square
business
one.
side comes into it. You
Right.
know, you're just kind of like, I either have to make a decision quick, or I've got to move on to another school. You know,
And you know, being the business side of it, if she would have said yes standing in front of the coach, that doesn't mean she would have got it.
Right.
Not-
You
Yeah,
know,
not necessarily, right.
in all honesty, if this other girl would have come up 30 minutes later after she commits, and they would have been like, sorry, Hayden, we didn't have an extra spot. We thought we did, but we don't. And I mean, that's the business side of it.
I
Right?
I
We've
misread
talked
the
about
numbers.
that a ton. You know, we've talked about that a ton.
And it's things like this, and you'll hear us say this all the time on the show, that makes college sports it's got a yuck ick feel about it. Is that it is such a business now.
Yeah.
So whenever the coach was let go at Miami, Ohio,
Yeah.
who called? How did you find out? Did you get a call?
I actually didn't even get a call from the head coach. I got a call from one of the assistants who ended up going to Wilmington.
Yeah.
And she let me know. And then I stayed in contact with her and another one of the assistants throughout my process. Not even because they were recruiting me, just because, like, that's the type of relationship we had.
Right.
Was she the one that went to Wilmington? Was she the one that was trying to get you to come to Wilmington?
Not even that, actually. It was, she wasn't even on staff. They just gotten a coach. They needed a whole new set of coaches.
So Wilmington was a whole new setup too.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that scares me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think the situation where you're in, where you've got the stability, he's been there for 11 years. I think I would rather, in today's game, where they don't care to fire a coach after one season. I mean, heck, Mel Tucker got fired this week, and he's only been there a couple of years. Of course,
Well,
you know, situation.
We'll talk about that later.
Mel Tucker did something.
But I'm just saying, there is no such thing as loyalty when it comes to university versus coach, pros versus players. There's no loyalty anymore.
Right.
So,
which has a direct. I mean, that's directly related to the players, because, you know, your Coach Barnes, been there 11 years, 12 next season. Something were to happen and he takes a bigger job, then the new coach that comes in, well, they didn't recruit. Like, and you may not have the same relationship with them. So that's where you see the players that opt out of their scholarships. So hopefully, and I'm speaking it into existence, Coach Barnes is going to be there for the duration. I would say the only chance he has, aside from breaking rules, is probably taking a bigger job. But what are you most looking forward to going into Youngstown?
They have a really good football team. So I think probably just being able to go out and, like, enjoy other sports and people, just being in college, I guess.
Living the college life.
Right.
So aside from hoops, what's a major?
Exercise science.
What do you want to do with that?
I want to be a physical therapist.
Okay. Does Youngstown have a PT program?
They do.
So, I mean, you could go right in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty nice. I mean, and I tell kids all the time, if you can get a college to pay for any portion of your education, jump at those opportunities.
Right.
So, Sean talked about your senior year coming up. What are some goals that Hayden has for herself, but also the team this upcoming season?
I think one of my big ones is I don't know what the deal is when I play Clark County, and this probably goes for the team too, but it's just been set in our heads since probably 7th grade that we're not going to make a shot. We're not going to be able to get rebounds. Like, we're not going to be able to stop anyone on defense. So I think probably just getting that out and realizing.
So you're defeated before you get on the floor.
Yeah, honestly. Probably realizing that, okay, this is maybe the last time you're going to play these girls, so get it together and play.
I'll tell you this, Hayden. We have interviewed a lot of coaches and a lot of players on this team. It's not just ladies basketball that mentality is there. It's like Clark County has this cloud over us, and a lot of the sports, I mean, like the ladies soccer, they've never beat Clark County, right? Or is it the other way around?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. And so it's like that's the goal, right? Let's try to beat Clark County. Yeah. And it's the regional finals, what is it, 3 years in a row now?
Yeah.
So, you're good enough to be there.
Yeah.
It's just we got to, it's hard to wipe out that darkness in your brain because it's a mental game. It's not just physical. And when your mental is holding you down, so Dustin's going to have to figure out a way to get that block out and get that cloud of dust out of there and try to figure out a way to get over the hump.
Cloud of dust. Dust for Brains. Dustin, Dust for Brains High. That's his name. Sean just
I did not say that. You said that.
No. I just read between the lines. That's all I did. So
Dustin will come in here and punch me the next time he's on.
Golly gee shucks, I don't think he's going to. Even though my favorite all-time picture of Dustin High is him, and he's just lighting into an official, and Katie Jo is there holding onto his shirt tail, like on a leash. Like, I'm only going to let you get so far.
Yep.
And I got you right here. So, Coach, you just give it to him, but you're not getting any further. That's my all-time favorite picture. So, what are some of your lasting memories from playing high school basketball that you'll be able to take with you?
Literally any and every game with Savannah Parker is a lasting memory. She was so funny, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not. But, she was just such a light to the team, whether or not they want to admit it, because she got on some people's nerves. But me and her had a really good relationship. We still do. And I, genuinely enjoyed playing with her.
Nice. And, I mean, that's really what it's about, is enjoying the people that you play with. I mean, the wins are great. Championships are great. Points are great. But it's those relationships that you build that will carry on forever. Yeah. So what do you want your legacy to be?
I think I just want to be remembered as, the kid that, worked her butt off. I guess, I can shoot or whatever, but,
She says whatever. She doesn't shoot really well.
But
I kind of shoot, whatever.
She's more of a rebounder.
Right, she's a rebounder.
She plays defense.
Yeah.
She does, and she learned that at West Virginia
I
Thunder.
have a feeling that this defense is going to play a big role in your game at Youngstown State.
I think so, too.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just kind of feel like that particular type of offense probably isn't focused on that.
I think because I said that just a minute ago. I think that's
Did
why.
you really?
I did.
It was a good point. It was such a good point that I don't remember you saying.
I did say that. I said the skills you learned, playing those type things with West Virginia Thunder, with the Olympians and the D1 athletes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Power 5.
But you didn't point it directly to Youngstown State.
I think I did. I said you're going to be able to carve out some playing time because of that. Hayden, did I not?
We're hammering it home. That's what it is.
He did.
So let's talk about the recruiting trail, but not typically. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Mm-hmm. What was the best thing you ate? Any of the places you went? I think your dad would say a crab roll.
Oh, yeah. The food.
I mean, a legit crab roll.
Yeah, he loved that. He raved about that for a while. They got some really good wings in Connecticut.
Which is surprising. Like, you don't think about Connecticut having wings.
Good wings. So probably.
Now, what college was that?
Sacred Heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's where they were.
I would have assumed New York.
Like 14 hours away.
So, all right. So, Connecticut wings were your favorite food. What was your favorite trip?
Also going to Sacred Heart. Only because, though, like, this sounds like, oh my God, like, did she commit to the wrong college? No. But it was like, I don't know, I felt like a real deal. Like, they flew me out, flew me back home. I don't know. That just felt really cool.
Well, and I mean, to touch on that for a second, that's got to be super cool. Because, like, they're trying to get you, it's a pitch to get you to choose them as much you to, like, for them to choose you. So, to be wined and dined, so to speak, by all to different levels by all these universities has to be something pretty cool.
It is, and it's fun.
You're allowed 5 official visits during the year, correct? Is that have you finished those off, or could you actually do that again this year during your senior year? Not that you're going to, because, you're committed.
I'm pretty sure I could.
You could do it again, and so
2 more.
Mom says 2 more.
Yeah, just as long as I stay in.
Now, is that kind of like, you talk about it being a business, is that kind of like grody on the players' part to take these official visits to schools after you've already committed? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I probably would say yes. Unless something happens with, like, I would say it's circumstantial. Like, something happens with the coaches and you don't want to decommit.
Right.
But
you're going to open your commitment back up.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, what about...
That would be a bad look.
It's like I'm committed to Youngstown State, but Tennessee.
Have you had these wings in Connecticut, though?
Right.
I mean,
Like, I hear they got some great barbecue in Texas. I don't know. Note to self: one of my kids has to become a Division I athlete so I can go eat food.
Skylar, it's on you, buddy.
Skylar, you better start running, buddy. So, who are some of the most unusual characters you encountered on your trips? Because there have to be some goofy people.
There was a handful at Bellarmine, which may not come as a surprise. It's a little bit of a artsy type school,
It is.
you know?
It is.
And just, like, in passing and, like, on the tour and stuff, there was some definite, like...
Some that you were like, I don't know that I want to be here.
Not that nerds are a bad thing.
It's close to home, but so is Moorhead.
Gosh.
So, what is maybe a funny story you can leave us with from your recruiting trail? There has to be something that every time you think about, you start laughing.
Probably when we were leaving the hotel in Youngstown to go have breakfast, and then literally, hours before I committed, we had to leave the hotel running out because there was a fire in our hotel. That was good. That's probably the best one.
Did you start the fire?
No, but...
See, Beth knows. The human jukebox I almost went to. We didn't start the fire. I was waiting for it, but it didn't come through.
Well, Hayden, I have watched you grow up. I mean, we literally, I remember watching you and Caitlin play in children's church out at Camargo United Methodist Church. And so I've literally watched you grow up. And I think it's extremely cool to see you progress through all the years. And you started young playing basketball.
Well, I was going to say, I think your mom had shared a video recently of you on the Comets wearing a jersey that was too big and jumping on your free throws.
Yep.
And I was like, to see like the shooter that you've become. I mean, still the same little girl, just a little bigger.
Just a little bigger.
Just a little bigger. But
I think it's cool. I'm proud of you. I really am. And to be able to say, hey,
that's one of ours.
We know her. You know, I've known her since she was this big.
Yeah.
You know, and now that really makes me feel old because
you are.
I'm getting to that point now that I literally am seeing kids that I remember when they were that big.
Right.
And because I used to always be like, when I would be with my dad, I've known you since
knee high to a grasshopper.
It will be cool that you can turn it on ESPN Plus, watch the Penguins play, and as the roster comes up,
listen, how the heck are you all the Penguins? It's in Youngstown, Ohio.
They're
no
there now.
Penguins there. In the zoo?
They're not that far away from Cleveland, and get ready. It's going to get cold in the wintertime.
No, they're not penguin cold.
Well, I don't know. They get that lake fake snow out there.
You find the chancellor's name, and I'm going to talk to him about that.
Did you say fake snow?
No, I said lake of fake snow.
She said
They get fake snow up there.
They feel it's like Paoli Peaks. It's fake snow.
It's fake snow. Like, she'll look out of her dorm room one morning and be like, "Where did this 14 inches of snow come from?"
So how far is Youngstown from Cleveland?
I think about an hour.
Oh, okay.
It's like in between Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Well, I will say.
I feel like I remember seeing
don't know
Youngstown signs.
Don't know if you're a pro football fan. The Pro Football Hall of Fame's nearby. Well worth the trip.
So is the Rock and Roll Hall.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is close by.
He's only saying that because he told us straight up he hated it.
He did hate it. What? But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's there. So both those things we attended this summer. Pretty cool. If you're looking for things to do.
And the Brown Stadium.
And the Brown Stadium. We saw the outside of it.
We went to a Guardians game.
Guardians game.
Does Cleveland have a WNBA team?
No.
Definitely.
Pittsburgh?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Next.
Awkward. See, sometimes we just get this awkward thing where we just start randomly talking and then it goes silent. So, well, Hayden, we appreciate you coming on and talking to us and rambling with us for 33 minutes now. So, we hope it won't be the last time that we get to talk to Miss Hayden Barrier. Next time, hopefully, it'll be, she'll get to tell us how college life is going.
Yes, that'll be fun.
I mean, we do have a high school year coming up still.
I understand
we got to talk
that,
about it.
and she'll be on that.
And I mean, we're probably gonna call a few of those games. I mean,
we're talking about the Youngstown games. So we're gonna
we're just gonna drive up.
That you need to work that in your NIL deal. Be like, I got people.
All right.
I got
my own video crew. I'm like Prime.
They're gonna come up here and they're gonna handle my social media accounts.
Sounds good to me.
So I mean, Youngstown's what, 6 hours?
Yeah.
So we make that driving a night.
Right. Awesome. Well, again, Hayden, we appreciate you coming on. Good luck this upcoming season and future endeavors for sure.
We will definitely talk to you soon.
Thank you all.
Again, thanks, Hayden, for coming on to the show. That was a pretty fun interview as well.
I enjoyed learning about her process because obviously, I don't know if you can look at me and tell, but I'm not a Division I athlete. Right. So, the things that she got to talk about, I never got to experience. So it was kind of cool to live vicariously, so to speak, for 35 minutes through her and hear her tell about the process of being recruited.
And she's the first one that we've had on to be able to do that. We have hopes to have Reagan Oney on soon to talk about her process as well. And I'd like to see this become a normal thing,
right?
Because everyone's going to be different, right?
And everybody has a story. That's what makes it so unique.
I like some of the questions you ask, like, what was your favorite food? What was the best visit you got? And, we learned that she loves the chicken wings from Connecticut.
Who would have ever thought that Connecticut had good wings?
It's funny because, being from the South, we like biscuits, right?
Biscuits.
I remember when I was a kid, my dad sold those arrow signs that set out like in front. It used to be a bigger thing than it is now. But he would travel all over the country delivering these things. I remember him going to Maine one time, and he said he asked for biscuits and gravy. And the biscuits were so hard, he said, I swear you could have used them as a baseball. He said they didn't know how to make a biscuit up there. And just thinking that because I remember we went to Wilmington a few years ago. They don't have sweet tea up there. It's tea. You order sweet tea, they go, well, we have sugar on the table.
Well, I've been places before, and we call mayonnaise salad dressing or Miracle Whip salad dressing.
Yep.
And I was at a Subway. I forget where I was, and I ordered salad dressing on my sub. And the lady looked at me and was like, "What kind?" And I said, "Regular salad dressing." And she's like, is that like ranch?" And I was like, "No, mayonnaise." And she was like, "I've never heard it called salad dressing."
Because salad dressing is Miracle Whip, not mayonnaise. Now, if you said Miracle Whip, they'd have been like, "Oh, we don't have."
By the way, I have become a Dukes fan.
Dukes is the best,
and I'm a Miracle Whip guy.
I know,
and my family likes Hellman's mayonnaise. And I'm like, nope, I got to have the Dukes. And they go, there's not that.
There is.
You said there's not a difference between Hellman's and Miracle Whip. There is a difference. And I'm a Duke's guy now.
I don't have a defined enough palate to tell the difference in mayonnaise and Miracle Whip.
Oh, yeah.
I'll use them interchangeably.
It's sweeter.
Yeah.
It's got a vinegar.
Miracle Whip is much sweeter.
Yeah.
I don't have a defined enough palate.
That's because you eat too fast.
It's like between Gatorade and Powerade. I can tell the difference in those.
Somewhat, yeah. It's closer there than it is in Miracle Whip mayonnaise.
One funny story about food before we move on. I was also in Atlanta one time, and I ordered sweet tea at a Waffle House, and the lady was like, "Sweet tea? What are you talking about, sweet tea?" And I was like, "Tea with sugar?" "Oh, no. We call that ghetto tea." So I ordered ghetto tea, and
it was sugar with tea, wasn't it?
Basically, yes. It was thick.
I put this on pancakes, right?
Right, like this is syrup, isn't it?
I didn't say maple syrup. Oh man! All right, well that was fun. That was fun. So moving on, we don't have time for our 5 and 5.
Well, because it ended up being like 5 and 12 and a half. That's what she said.
I know. But first thing I got on the list tonight is what is wrong with Alabama?
2 words. Tommy Rees.
Yeah. They went through 3 quarterbacks Saturday and barely beat South Florida.
Right. And I mean,
now South Florida's better this year, but they should not have been in that ball game with Alabama.
No, I mean, Alabama is head and shoulders better than at every level. They're head and shoulders better than South Florida.
I should have bet South Florida plus the points. It would have ensured an Alabama onslaught.
Well, Alabama fans are asking for you to take the team that they're playing this week.
Well, it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. Whoever I bet on is not going to cover.
So, Tommy Rees, it's the best thing that happened to Notre Dame is that Tommy Rees left, right?
Yeah, and I don't think they realized. I don't think that Notre Dame realized the problem was Tommy Rees last year.
It doesn't hurt that they have Sam Hartman, who is really flipping good.
I know, yeah. But the new OC that they brought in, which, by the way, is not the OC that they wanted. Right? He was like the 3rd or 4th choice that they got to because they wanted the OC from Utah.
Yep.
And that was a done deal other than the fact that the AD would not come off of the money to pay for the guy.
Right. I really like Marcus Freeman there.
I do too.
And I think it's more on Marcus Freeman than it is OC, but a lot of it's on Sam Hartman. I mean, he makes a lot of OCs look good.
He's been in college as long as Stetson Bennett. I mean, he's been around since 2017 at this point. So,
I mean,
a long time.
But I don't know his viability in the NFL prior to coming to Notre Dame. He probably gets drafted. I think he's a viable quarterback in the NFL now.
Well, I mean, he's putting up Heisman type numbers right now.
He is. But none of the quarterbacks at Alabama are doing that.
No.
And I'm thinking if things don't turn around, Tommy Rees is going to he's going to be the one and done. He's going to be in the unemployment line next year looking for a new job.
And, the whole point of him going to Alabama is because he wants to be a head coach.
Yeah.
So that was like his stepping stone.
Yeah, nope. Mm-mm.
So.
No bueno.
Yeah.
Tommy Rees, reset.
Is Tommy Rees going to be the reason that Nick Saban says, forget it?
Well, I honestly think they could lose 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
And you look at Nick Saban's not going to put up with that. I've told you all along, my hot take is Nick Saban's going to retire.
Right.
He's doubled down and said, I'm not retiring, which means in coach speak that he's thinking about retiring.
He's already done that once.
I am not taking the Miami Dolphins job.
That's right.
And then he said, I'm not taking the Alabama job.
He's saying that because he didn't want to fool with that conversation all year long.
I don't know. I know Sean and I had this conversation. If Kentucky beats them later this year, and it's a pick. People are picking that. Could he pull a Steve Spurrier and just retire? Listen, if I get beat by Kentucky, I don't need to be coaching no more. That's basically what Steve Spurrier did.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
If after the game he just Nah, I'm done.
Oh, this is it.
I think we was joking around going, the wife's out there.
Right,
She's got the car.
Pull the Urban Meyer. My heart.
Oh,
Oh,
this
my
is the
heart.
big one, Carolyn.
Right, it's bad. But Tommy Rees needs to be Tommy Reset or Resign or something. He needs to
Resign.
He needs to get the heck out of
He needs to get
Tuscaloosa.
a deal with Reese Cups.
See, interesting thing. It's Reese's Cups, but it's Reese's Pieces. Because nobody says Reese's Pieces.
You're right about that.
They say Reese's Pieces.
There's no A on the end of it.
Some people do call them Reese Pieces.
Well, they're weird. They're sociopaths.
Reese's Pieces?
Yeah.
Who is that? Did E.T. call him Reese's Pieces?
I couldn't tell you.
E.T. phone home.
No.
It's Reese's Pieces.
That's right.
Anyways. What about that Colorado State game?
Colorado.
It was
a little bit more of a game than it was.
It was not a rivalry prior to Saturday. As long as those two coaches are there,
and
that's a rivalry.
You know, with Colorado State's coach running his mouth, everybody expected Colorado to just run away with that game.
Yeah.
And the Rams come out and smacked Colorado in the mouth.
Well, that's what we were waiting for. We were waiting for Dion to get, because Mike Tyson says it best, and I say this all the time. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
That's not the way Mike Tyson says it.
No, Mike Tyson talked a little bit like this.
Thank you.
Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. But, Mike, if you're listening, I love you. Please don't find me.
That is Neil Payne.
His address is 125 Dove Trace. I don't know who lives at that house, but that's Sean's neighborhood. Go find them. But
Brian Beasley.
Sorry, Brian, I apologize. But I wanted to see what would happen prior to them getting to a big game. And I told you all, I thought the Colorado State game could be the trap game.
You did
because they were looking past that. So I was excited to see what happened, and I think Dion's team showed a lot of resiliency.
Yeah, and I mean, a 98-yard drive with 2 minutes left on the game, goes down, gets the touchdown, and then the 2-point conversion.
You could argue their most important player,
I was getting ready to say, without Travis Hunter, got absolutely smashed.
And listen, I'm not taking up for that kid that did that for Colorado State. It was a dirty play.
Yeah.
But it was one of those that was almost necessary. It was like, I'm showing you right now, I don't care who you are, what you've done. You're not coming in and just taking something from us.
They haven't said what that is, but that looked like a broken ribs type of hit.
Yeah, that's because he immediately doubled over right in that area.
And he's out for a couple of weeks at least.
Yeah.
At this point. So, but they showed their resiliency. They came back. They won. We're going to talk about this in the pick'em, but they're headed to Oregon now,
and they have a considerable spread.
Yeah.
Against them.
Yeah. So we'll get to that in a minute. Did you see the?
Wait.
What?
Did you see the flags back on Sean's truck when you pulled in the parking lot? Hey, he unpacked all the Jader stuff. He was running Billy Napper out of town. And listen, the dude's going to get fired. You go back and listen. He said that multiple times.
Multiple.
He's going to get fired.
He was going back to Napier.
We're not going to get him a chance. No, I'm not even going to call him his real last name anymore.
Right. He's going back to Napier.
And I bet
Napper.
I bet this man was getting ready to say, "Did you see Florida beat Tennessee?"
Well, if you were looking at the outline, that would have not been the case. That's the next topic. But since you brought it up, have you seen how good a coach Billy Napier is?
I mean, you've always been a fan of him.
I have. I mean, ever since way back in the day when he was at Louisiana Tech or wherever that.
You knew that he was going to work.
Wherever he was.
You knew that he was going to work.
Well, I knew this. He had to have this ball game.
He did.
Because that was the type of win. It was an impressive team victory.
Tennessee was never in that game.
They ran the ball to perfection in the first half. They couldn't really move the ball in the second half, but their defense played like the old school Gator defense. I mean, they made your Milton Heisman pick look like trash.
Well,
he lost the Heisman Trophy Saturday night.
He didn't have the Heisman Trophy prior to Saturday, but yes, Saturday he's out of conversation, and also they're out of the college football playoff. Because that's not their last loss they have in the SEC.
Yeah, now and everybody today was like, Tennessee now looks like the old Tennessee, and it just shows you how good Hendon Hooker was.
Right, and how special that team could have been with that if Hendon Hooker didn't tear his ACL. But that, like you said, that was a statement win.
Yeah.
It was a win that is going to get a lot of people off his back. I really like.
They bought him some more time.
I really like Billy Napier. I told you whenever he got hired, it was a great hire.
Yeah.
But what about Graham Mertz? Graham Mertz was in quarterback purgatory in Wisconsin. That's where quarterbacks go to die. Okay? Nobody wants to be the quarterback in Wisconsin.
Even with me, I hated the fact that he came, but that kid looked really good.
What about he's athletic?
Yeah.
We didn't know Graham Mertz was athletic.
The thing that I saw, I watched that whole game, and the thing that I saw from him that I've not seen from a Florida quarterback since probably Kyle Trask a couple of years ago was he didn't force the ball into bad situations. If he didn't see it, he either ran out of bounds or he threw the ball away. He did not force it into a bad situation. He took what was given to him, and that's key, right? I mean, we talk about it. You look at Nebraska won Saturday night. They scored 35 points with Harburg as the quarterback. They didn't turn the ball over.
Right.
They turned the ball over on the first game. He completed the pass. I think they fumbled the ball, but he didn't throw interceptions like Jeff Sims has. And you look at Harburg and you're like, if we play like this the first two games of the season, we probably I know we beat Minnesota and may have beat Colorado.
Well, and you hear Adam say it all the time. All it takes a lot of times is to have a good game manager.
Yeah.
Just don't turn the ball over.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I told you Sunday, Graham Mertz went from being in quarterback purgatory and maybe trying to make the roster as an undrafted rookie to being drafted in the NFL.
If he continues to play at this pace.
Graham Mertz is going to be an NFL quarterback. And it's like, think about what I just said. The only move Graham Mertz had was hike, turn and give it to my running back. Hike, turn and give it to my running back. Hike, slant pass.
Incomplete.
Incomplete.
And his name is Graham.
Graham. Listen. Underrated cookie.
Graham crackers?
Graham crackers.
I love
Is it a
graham
cookie?
crackers.
It is a cookie. I know it has
sweet cracker.
which makes it a cookie.
I don't know about that.
I think it's.
They make graham cracker cookies, but the package of graham crackers
is a cookie.
I would not consider that a cookie.
It's a cookie.
I think it's a cracker.
You're gonna eat it with your chili?
It's perforated.
You're gonna eat it with your salad?
It maybe.
You
depends,
lie.
It depends on the salad.
Well, you eat lots of weird things.
I'm
in your
going to
salad
eat it
anyway.
with peanut butter.
Garbanzo beans.
Exactly. Garbanzo beans are
That's
really
one of
good.
my favorite snacks.
Garbanzo beans?
No, peanut butter.
I was getting ready to say you're the weirdest human being.
I don't even know what a garbanzo bean is.
It was the character from Muppet Babies. Garbanzo, the guy with the nose.
That was Gonzo.
Or Gonzo. I was going to go waka waka waka, but that was Fozzie Bear. Who I thought was a dog.
Yeah, there was a lot of people
Ralph.
I thought was a dog. Ralph! We were trying to figure out his name.
Was Fozzie Bear not the drummer?
No, that was Animal.
Yeah.
But he was... I'm all confused.
Ralph was the dog that played the piano.
I thought
Ralph, floppy ears.
Yes. I thought Ralphie was the boy from Christmas Story.
That one too.
There's two Ralphs?
Yeah. But anywho.
I thought he wrecked things.
Right.
Anywho's. Yes, that was a statement win for the Gators.
He's staring in between the lines.
We're pushing time. So.
We're leaning on the guardrail.
Pushing
Sparks.
All right. What about the missed field goal?
Listen,
that was a field goal.
Adam, I'm going to give him the atomic dog, okay?
Because
he did call it. No, I am. But
not on paper. He ain't.
There's an asterisk because that field goal went in. Clearly, every angle of the replay, it's in.
I mean, I got to figure those refs had Ohio in the points.
They listened to our show. They knew that Adam called the dog.
Adam had the atomic dog, Ohio beating Iowa State. Iowa State with 7 minutes left to go kicks a field goal that would have been the game-tying field goal. And the refs...
Well, actually, they kicked the field goal. They were down 10-0. They kicked the field goal. They would have made it 10-3.
Gotcha.
You would think that in the NFL and college football, they would have VAR.
Well, you know, you would think
field goals.
You would think if Adam Muncy was a gentleman, he would be, and a stand-up guy, he would say, boys, I'm not claiming that because that's not right. They did not win outright. That's what I'd say. Listen, if that was me, I'm in his shoes, I'm not taking it.
And his argument, knowing him, is, what's the score on the scoreboard?
Well, you know, his argument was, well, I mean...
Oh, that's right. He did win it because... Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, his argument was, well, they... who'd they play? Iowa State.
Iowa State.
He said, well, Ohio missed a field goal earlier in the game. Yeah, but Iowa State made theirs.
Yeah.
That's dirty. Dirty, rotten scoundrel. I'm giving you credit for it because technically... But there's an asterisk. If this was a baseball Barry Bonds hit, we are branding an asterisk in it and giving it back to you. If you want to claim an asterisk victory, then you do that. It's good enough for third place right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So NFL Week 2, is Dallas for real?
Their defense, yes.
They did this a lot last year. Beat teams up big time defensively. They didn't play very well against the 8 really good quarterbacks that they played last year, though.
You know, it's just when will Dak take a Duke on the field? When will Dak be duking?
Well, I think they got Zeke out of the way, so they don't have to force the ball to him now.
And Tony Pollard's just happy to be there.
Deuce Vaughn and Tony Pollard are both running really well. But he is really forcing the ball to CeeDee Lamb. I mean, Lamb had 27 catches yesterday?
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
Hey, so you talk about catches. I heard this earlier because I got satellite radio back, by the way, for the first time in forever. And I was listening to my guy, Todd Bowles, talk today. So the question was, there have been 47 kick returns in 2 weeks of NFL play. 47. All the games. 47 kicks have been returned. Only 6 have they made it past the 25-yard line. So the question is, how do we fix that, or do we just get rid of it altogether? Todd Bowles thinks no, it has its place. But if every kicker is kicking it out of the end zone, what's the purpose of even going through the motions?
Well, I mean, they did that so that there wouldn't be injuries on kickoffs. I mean, they purposely tried to make it to where it would be more touchbacks than kick returns.
So they're just going to have to wait till the kickers start tearing their ACLs after they're kicking it so hard through the end zone. They're like, okay, now we got to make another change. Let's just get rid of it, period.
Well, and it's like, you got these guys that only 6 returns have been for more than 25 yards out of 2 full weeks of games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's shocking that we haven't had a kickoff return for a touchdown.
I mean, yeah, you would think that the odds would be at this point we would have had 1 return for a touchdown.
Right.
And it's just...
Is that what you was telling me earlier, that the fact that you heard that you wanted to...
Yeah. Like it...
That's pretty impressive.
It blew my mind that, I mean, how many kicks are there a game? 10?
Interesting.
Not as good.
You're right.
The delivery's not as good.
It would have to be less than 10 because if it's 47, there's been
only
40 games.
Only 47 have been returned at all, any kind of return. And then 6 of the 47 have gone past the 25-yard line.
Gotcha.
I mean, just boggled my mind. I don't know.
It is interesting.
See, that's better delivery.
And he didn't even say,
And he genuinely this time was interested.
You all have got me a complex now. I don't think I've said interesting.
You have not, and it kind of frustrates me if I'm being honest.
Because you're waiting on it, aren't you?
I'm verbally frustrated right now.
Well, we've had some interesting shows.
Were they though?
I thought so.
I do too.
Nathaniel Hackett still sucks.
He still sucks. How this dude has a job, I don't know. Give the stat, Sean.
So, He had 9 running backs last night.
3 running backs.
Sorry, 3 running backs last night.
Because 9 running backs. It's like, my God, he's putting defensive linemen in the backfield.
We don't have a punter or a kicker because we gotta have more running backs.
We just want all the running backs.
Quarterback's got a pooch punt all the time.
3 running backs. They all had 15 to 16 plays, a combined 9 rushes for less than 30 yards.
Whoa.
Yeah.
3 running backs run the ball 9 times, and they get a combined 30 yards. That is 3 rushes for 10 yards per running back.
And you're talking about Brees Hall.
So he's a new guy.
Brees Hall had over 120 yards rushing against the Bills defense last week.
Yeah.
And helped them beat the Bills. But he ran the ball 4 times for 8 yards.
How does this dude continue to get jobs?
How does the head coach go smack him and go, what the flip are you doing?
Oh.
Why are we not running the ball?
And Saleh looks like the kind of guy that would slap you.
Yeah.
That's why. Do the head coaches not have more control?
Maybe that's why Aaron Rodgers, tore his Achilles, because he was like, I can't play for this guy.
So he sabotaged himself.
He's loves Hackett. Hackett's the reason that Rodgers is there.
Maybe he's like, oh, you've dropped off a lot.
Maybe Hackett forgot. It was like, oh, God, I got the Mormon MILF hunter in the backfield now, not Aaron A-Rod Rodgers.
And the crazy part about it is now people are starting to look. I mean, Denver hasn't played great the first 2 weeks. I mean, although Russ put up some points yesterday anyways. But now they're starting to go, well, maybe it was Russ and it wasn't Hackett. And I'm like, no, it was Hackett. Hackett is horrible.
I think it was a bad combination of both.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, Russ is not cooking no more.
He cooked a little bit on Sunday.
He had 38 fantasy points, several touchdowns, threw them to nobody on this planet that anybody knows.
He can't get it to a rolling bowl. I'll tell you that. If he was a pot of hot water, he would not get it to a rolling bowl. Maybe a simmer.
Bowl.
That's bowl.
Thank you for saying bowl.
You're wrong.
Because it's not boil.
No, we don't say the I here.
No, it's bowl.
Just like it's old.
Right.
But Russ doesn't cook. Maybe simmer.
I don't know if he's even in the simmer yet.
I think he's back here on the warming station.
Right.
Now.
Just trying to crave one. That's right.
He doesn't say that.
No, because Sean Payton said that's stupid.
Yeah. He called him out.
Yeah.
After this game, he's like, he said we wasted our timeouts. He's like, I'm not used to burning timeouts in the first half because we can't get the plays in. He said, Wes is going to have to get faster than that. And he said, we may have to go to a
Russ. You said Wes.
Did I say Wes?
Yeah, I was like, who do I
like
play for?
Yeah, I'm in, coach. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. So, but Russ was a good story, but I think Russ has got too full of himself. And it's about time Russ gets put out the pasture.
I mean, watching Geno Smith play, it looks like he was a product of the Seattle system.
Right. I think so. And which means, hey, my boy Dave Canales down in Tampa came from the Seattle system, and the quarterback in Tampa is doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is.
I didn't say his
You
name.
didn't say his name?
Nope.
I'm surprised.
I'm not.
You're like, my team's 2-0. I'm still not going to say his name.
Time to bake.
Don't you ever. I'll flip this table over right here.
Well, he baked
What's worse?
He baked the Bears yesterday.
Let Russ cook or time to bake?
Time to bake, 100%. Final answer.
Because it almost sounds like he's going to get high.
Well, he might play better. But, hey, how about the fantasy owners of Mike Evans? My goodness. Can you imagine how great it would be to own Mike Evans in fantasy?
Stairway to Evans.
Stairway to Evans. I mean, 6 catches, 171 and a tutty.
To Evans.
So, I mean, Mike Evans would be a fantastic person to own in fantasy football.
Yeah, you don't like it, though.
He had a good game.
I hate fantasy football. And listen, I played that stupid daily fantasy football thing, which I'm going to rename. I'm going to give Jordan Perry $5 because that's what I need to do. Pick Trevor Lawrence.
Because it's going to be a shootout, right?
Should be a shootout. 6-7 for half the game.
This morning, I was listening to one of the fantasy shows, and they were talking about Lawrence and that, and they go, well, most fantasy owners banked on the fact that this was going to be a shootout, and I immediately laughed because I was like, it was far from that.
And that's why I hate fantasy football.
Well, I mean, I picked Kelsey, and he had a bad game.
He had a touchdown.
In fantasy purposes, 11 points, you just will have a 0.
Out of the tight end position, though.
Out of the tits. Lit tits.
Out of the tight end position, that's pretty good. I don't know what that says.
You said tits.
Both of my tight ends had more than that yesterday.
Do we have to put
Easy now with your tight end
on this one now?
So has the game passed Belichick by
1,000,000%? This is the first time he started 0-2 since the 0-1 season.
He's never been the same since Brady left.
So here's the thing. I had this conversation with friend of the show, Jason Ashburn. He's a coworker of mine. He is a Minnesota Viking fan that married into the New England Patriot family. Married a girl from Boston.
Okay.
And so I said, I got a hot take for you,
Boston.
And he said, what's that? I said, Belichick's time is up. He needs to go.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're crazy. And I said, no. He said, you're a Belichick hater. I said, no, now you're putting words in my mouth. I'm not a Belichick hater. I will tell you, Bill Belichick is the greatest NFL head coach of all time. He's a defensive mastermind. Okay? But the game is different now.
Yeah.
And look at his success since Tom Brady left.
Right.
And now he's 0-2 for the first time in 22 years. Bro, hang it up, man.
Yeah.
New England as a franchise needs a reset. They got half a reset when Tom Brady left, right? They need the other half of the reset, and they need Belichick to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they're making Mac Jones look worse than he is.
Mac Jones is not a bad quarterback.
But, I mean, he's in the same situation as Brady was, trying to play quarterback with nobody catch a ball.
Yeah, I think Bill O'Brien is trying his hardest to throw the ball as much as he can, and I think he's kind of getting the leash pulled on him a little bit, too.
Well, I mean, them throwing the ball last night was the best they played against Miami.
Look, here's a perfect example in my eyes. Belichick needs to leave because Gannon went to Arizona. Arizona stinks. They've been in both games that they've played this year. I mean, they stink. They've got Josh Dobbs at quarterback. They've got Marquise Hollywood Brown as their only wide receiver that's worth a darn, and James Conner that's probably over the hill. He's played okay, and they've got a decent defense because they had a good draft on defense, and he's got that team playing well. That's a reason why Belichick needs to leave. You can get somebody like Gannon to come into the Patriots organization and be given, a silver platter to just say whatever you need to do.
And Arizona has led late in both games, and they've lost both games, but they've led late in both of those.
Yeah, because those guys know what needs to be done in the new NFL.
Yeah, no, I agree. Neil, you had a rant?
I did have a rant. So I saw something the other day that really just grinded my gears. Wes, I think you saw the same thing. I saw a hitchhiker. Listen, I'm not against hitchhiking, okay? Sometimes people don't have rides. This dude was on the bypass in Mount Sterling, hitchhiking right here near the studio, out here, so that you know where on the bypass he is. If you're that far down the bypass going out of town, you're going to one place. Dairy Queen. That's all where you're going. Where does dude think he's going to get to? Dairy Queen? You're hitchhiking on the bypass. We got transits here in town that will come pick you up and take you wherever you need to go. We got churches here in town that'll give you rides. You're hitchhiking on the bypass.
Did he have his thumb up?
He did. He looked at me and was like, "You going my way?" No, I'm not.
So you pull over and go, "You going to Albuquerque by chance?"
So I talked to Neil about this already, and hitchhiking is normally, if you see a hitchhiker, they're at an exit, on the exit, getting ready to get on the interstate or something like that. Correct?
Correct.
I told Neil there used to be a guy that hitchhiked from Stanton to Mount Sterling every day. And
Yeah.
if he did not get a ride, he ended up in Mount Sterling walking. And if it was too late, he turned back around and he walked right back to Stanton that same day.
I know who you're talking about because I passed him a blue million times when I worked at Lowe's. I would drive past him running leads to Stanton all the time.
So, like I said, I'm not against hitchhiking. Okay, sometimes, but think about where you are. You want to hitchhike in Mount Sterling on the bypass. So it's like you pull up beside. Where are you going? Listen, where are you going? Try and get to Cincinnati. Okay, I'll take you to Dairy Queen. I'll tell you what, I'll take you to Pilot.
Yeah, he probably could have gotten a ride with a trucker there.
Right. But, like, you're really not...
Maybe that was his goal.
Maybe. I don't know. But it was just awful sus.
Video's going to be fun when we get everything going.
Especially wearing that shirt and doing that.
So today was day one of our Snackapalooza.
For birthday cakes, it was a smackapalooza. Because oatmeal cream pie put the beat down on them. Listen, Coach Yost looked at oatmeal cream pie and said, "Run it up, leave no doubt." And Little Debbie understood the assignment. Oatmeal cream pie modocked them.
What was the final score?
65-4.
Oh my God! It sounds like an AAU high school basketball team.
Sounds like one of those football games from West Virginia. Adam sent us a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow, that was huge. Huge. That's the most interactions that we've had on any of our tournament votes. I mean, that's over 70.
It's just going to get better.
69. It's not over 70.
I thought you said it was 69-4.
No, I said 65-4.
Oh.
That's over 70. That is over 70. And this man's figured up squares for a house. For Ruth.
It's
over 70.
That's that Anderson County math coming back out.
And you see why I'm successful. Oversell, underpromise.
But tomorrow,
maybe I need to double check my paycheck. Maybe I haven't made as much money this year as I thought.
Star Crunch versus Fancy Cakes.
Yeah,
that'd be a closer matchup.
No, it'll be closer.
It closer than 65-4.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
It'll be 63-6.
No, I bet it's 40-20.
No,
somewhere in the 40s.
There is something about Fancy Cakes and zebra cakes.
I went to school with a fat
Christmas tree crap.
I went to school with a fat kid that would eat fancy cakes, 2 packs of fancy cakes every day, and he would dip them in ketchup.
Oh
no! I kind of understand why you're fat. One day I looked, I was like, "Have you ever tried a fancy cake by itself? It's delicious. You know, I love ketchup. Ketchup too is delicious.
You like ketchup?
Ketchup.
Okay, you said ketchup.
No, ketchup.
Okay, thank you.
Ketchup by itself, delicious. Fancy cakes by themselves, delicious. They don't need each other.
Maybe he likes the sweet and savory type.
Maybe he's weird.
Bite.
I understand. Like I said, I understand why he's fat now. I hope he doesn't listen because he will 100% know that I'm talking about him. He's probably the only human that did
I've
fancy
never
cakes
heard of that until right now.
You know, if somebody comments on this show on Saturday,
I live at 125 Dub Trace.
I too like the ketchup on the fancy cake.
They'll be like, "Oh, he's missing out. He should have tried mustard."
Do you all remember when people used to call it catsup?
That's stupid.
That is stupid.
That's not what it's called. It's ketchup.
It's ketchup.
Yeah, it's ketchup.
And it's a food group almost.
Yeah.
It might be the most delicious condiment.
Ketchup?
Yeah.
I think we've talked about that before. Right? It's been a while.
It might be time to bring it
back.
I mean, I'll eat
You don't like flavor.
There would be a lot of people that would say that ranch is a condiment. And
ranch is a condiment.
And
I'll agree with that.
So do you think all salad dressings are condiments then?
They can be, yes.
Can be.
Can be.
But I think
mean, what other salad dressing would you be using to dip?
When I dip, you dip, we dip.
Old boy's favorite over here, French. It's gross.
French is good.
No, French is not good. French, listen.
Get out there.
If French was a fancy football player, he'd give you the goose.
You don't like French dressing?
Gross. That's nasty. French or Catalina dressing? That crap.
Catalina's my favorite.
They're good, man.
That is gross. That is nasty.
Catalina's my favorite. You can't get it in a restaurant. They don't understand style.
That's nasty.
But he
And
only,
I like Thousand Island as well. Ranch should be at the bottom of my list.
Listen,
For my salad.
ranch is all. That's all. Listen, you cut his arm, all he's bleeding is ranch.
Look, Caitlin eats ranch on her hot dogs.
That's all right.
Turkey and cheese sandwich with ranch.
That's okay. I'm good with that. You know who else eats a lot of ranch? Kids that are in the foster care system. I worked in foster care. Was a foster parent for a long time. I caught they were institutionalized so long, and a lot of them came from institutions, and the food was so bad that they would mask the flavor with ranch dressing because ranch dressing was readily available everywhere. We had a foster kid one time that he had his own large bottle of ranch dressing because that's how much he went through, and we cooked significantly better than any detention center, right? And it's just the way he just couldn't help it.
Yeah,
I mean, there are some pizzas out there that I still dip in ranch.
if you don't get a Little Caesars pizza and don't get the ranch with it, something's wrong with you.
I didn't know they offered ranch with their pizza.
Yes. What?
I think if we're talking Little Caesars pizza, I think a Zap Pack with a couple splashes of hot sauce.
You know, I'm not a Zap Pack type guy, and I hear that a lot.
It's good.
That the Zap Pack is
I
what
am
makes
more
the Little
of a
Caesars better.
Red pepper flake Parmesan guy on my pizza.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't really.
We tag team that one.
Tag team back again.
Tag team directed. Let's get in.
I've tried the Zest Pack. I don't really like
The
that.
what? The Zap Pack?
Whatever you call it. Zest Pack or whatever.
Zap.
Zap?
Zap. You gotta say it. Zap.
Whatever. I don't like it.
Let's slick them, pick them.
Well, you want to give us the updated standings? I was eliminated after this week. So.
Yes, we will. So we have.
Yes, let's get to the standings.
We have. I'm gonna get my weekly power rankings.
Okay.
Coming in third this week, Adam Muncy. Woo! Coming in first.
Wait a
this
minute, how
week,
many points does he have?
23.
Okay.
Coming in first this week, Wes Crouch.
And why am I in first?
Because you picked more. That seems like a question Bobby Knight would get
I
asked.
want you to say that he got all of his picks right.
I piss excellence. That's what I do.
I don't know what your bathroom routine.
Because I got them all right. I got all 5 and Atomic Dog right.
Get used to it because it won't happen again.
Okay, whatever.
Even though what I said made no sense. And then coming in fourth, being eliminated, is Sean Kiper, barely cracking double digits. He's at 10. And then in second place, Dad's still hanging around. So first, second, third, separated by 1 point apiece. 25, 24, 23.
I'm just setting you up for a late comeback.
We're pretty good about it. You could pull a Neil this year because Neil was in the same spot. So
I wasn't that bad.
You're right.
You were double digits behind at one point.
But I wasn't that bad.
Well, we didn't have Atomic Dogs last year.
Let's be honest. If I didn't give you that, because we only picked 4 games week 1, if I didn't give you that point, you wouldn't be in double digits yet.
Sure.
So, come on. Don't forget that. You owe your double digits to me.
It doesn't matter. Last is last. It doesn't matter.
So, there's the standings. And I gave them Wes Crouch power ranking style.
I like it.
All right, so it's time to make the picks.
Pick 'em, Berber.
Let's see. Which one do we want to do first?
All of them.
Let's go with Oregon State, Washington State. I can tell you this. Adam picked Oregon State in a redemption game. He still thinks that DJU is on their redemption trail.
I'm going to go with Oregon State as well. Small spread. Going to be a close game. What?
Where are they at? They're at Washington State, right?
I believe so, yes. I'm going with the Beavs. The Beav Coons. What movie or show is that from? It was like the rare... that just caught me off guard.
Listen,
between that and the first one you said,
while he's regaining consciousness over there,
I like Beaver too. So
okay,
Beav across the board.
Well, I'm going opposite. I'm picking Washington State. I'm going with the Cougs.
You've never had the Beaver Nuggets, then, have you?
Well, I mean, I got to catch you somehow. So picking the same game as you all doesn't do me any good.
You just got to hit the atomic dog.
Atomic dog.
What we do next?
While we're in the Pac-2, by the way, that is the Pac-2 championship game.
It is the Pac-2.
Early.
The lone survivors.
Yeah. While we're there, let's stay out there. Let's go UCLA at Utah. Adam has got the Euclids.
Oh, Euclids. I was like, is that how you pronounce Utah's mascot? The Utah Euclids?
No, UCLA.
Yeah. That game's at Utah. I think it's going to be a good game back and forth. I'm going to take Cam Rising and the Utes.
Is Rising playing?
I don't know. That's the only player I know.
I don't know if he is or not.
They have won without him. They're 3-0 without him. UCLA is better, but than they have been. But I'm going with Utah.
Oh, I mean, this might be boring because I'm going with the Utes also. Did I pick them again to win the Pac-12? No, I didn't. We'll get to that.
If Cam Rising's playing, I think Utah wins this game. His replacement, I believe his last name is Johnson. He's played pretty well.
He's been pretty big for him, huh?
Their defense is huge. I'm going to go with the Utes.
They're going to be stiff competition.
I'm going to go with Utah as well.
Bringing the big stick.
Stay in the Pac-12. Let's go for third time.
Let's stay in the Pac-12 again. Hey, look, the Pac-12 is the best conference to watch right now.
We've picked half their schools so far.
We have. Colorado at Oregon. A 21-point spread right now.
First time all year, I'm picking against Coach Prime. I don't think they lose by 21 points, but I don't think they have enough to beat Oregon. Give me the Ducks.
Adam also picked Ducks. And
I like spicy duck dippers. And just like Neil, I got to kind of continue on with my Oregon roll here.
Yeah. I don't think that Colorado has it in them. If this was at Colorado, I'd give it a little bit more, but they've got Colorado this week. They've got USC next week at home.
I think they can beat USC.
And I think the reason being is I think Oregon has a better defense than USC.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll be the difference. And Autzen Stadium is going to be nuts, and they're going to want to prove a point. And so I am not going against Oregon this week. We got Notre Dame at home against Ohio State.
Give me Sam Hartman and the Fighting Irish.
Adam went with Ohio State because he thinks their quarterback has figured it out.
They still got Just for Men Ryan Day, and I will pick against Just for Men Ryan Day all day long.
Golden Domes all day long.
I agree. I think Notre Dame is playing really good football right now. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball, and they play really good defense.
If it was in the Horseshoe, maybe a different story, but I think at Notre Dame, as well as Notre Dame's playing, it's going to be tough to beat the Irish.
Yeah. And then we've got Florida State and Clemson. I do not know who's home.
It doesn't matter.
Clemson's
and
at home.
Currently, it's only a 2-point spread.
That's stupid.
Adam picked Clemson because he thinks that they've allowed Riley to open it up a little bit. I mean, they opened it up against like Georgia Southern or something like that and scored 60-something points.
I don't know that Florida State will be denied. I think Florida State is the best team in the ACC. I am picking Florida State.
I think Florida State goes, no, let's close that. Close them and shut it up. It stinks in there.
I think what Adam's looking at is the fact they struggled with Boston College. And I think the reason that they struggled with Boston College, you won't get a repeat against that against Clemson.
That game?
It was at Boston College.
Boston College is a hard place to play.
Yeah. They're not going to get a repeat on that.
They don't have a lot of Johnsons.
They're going to be able to come out and rectify that and play better. So,
I mean, one could say that it would be a rectifying.
Yeah.
If they can do it.
All right. So now we're on to the dogs. Adam has a dog pick. Rutgers He told us 25.5. I'm seeing 24. What are you seeing?
I see Michigan at 24.
Okay. Sorry, Adam, you're not getting 25.5. Because it's 24 on two different sites. And just because you said it was 25.5 doesn't mean that's what it is, because nobody else saw that.
Yeah, I see 24 also.
So take yours. Tell us yours, Sean.
Well, I'm going with an atomic dog this week. I am taking the University of Mississippi over Alabama at home. Straight up. Mississippi beating Alabama.
I should have done my pick before.
I was taking this regardless. I don't care if you pick it or not.
Well, I'm not picking the same atomic dog as you, but I do like that game.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and give you mine.
Go on and get.
I'm glad you let me go first.
I am taking the guys that just got beat by Colorado because I think I like that coach. And I think he's got that team playing pretty well. Colorado State is a 2-point underdog to Middle Tennessee State University. Atomic Dog.
Say that again.
Colorado State is a 2-point underdog to Middle Tennessee State.
Wow. That's interesting.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
How the heck are they a dog to Middle Tennessee State after they just took Colorado to overtime?
I mean, Middle Tennessee State's got some players,
it's
but
almost like Vegas knows something on that one, right? That reeks of a setup game.
I think it reeks of awesomeness. Interesting.
Interesting. Neil?
I'm going to go just dog pick. I was going to go atomic dog, but I'm going to go just dog. And I'm going to take Louisiana Tech to cover against Nebraska.
What's the spread?
20 points. They have not got beat by more than 20 any game this year. I take that back.
If
they got beat by 30. No. They won that game. Sorry, they won by 30.
If Harburg is the quarterback again, I think Nebraska covers that game.
Well, good. You can think it all you want to. You took my atomic dog because I was going atomic dog. Oh, and I thought it'd be boring for us both to pick the same game.
Well, I mean, it's guaranteed now that Alabama's going to win. I mean, I told you what would happen last week, and it happened. I mean, not exactly the way it was, but they just barely covered.
Right.
I mean, they scored freaking 41 points.
They were basically Adam in the Garden of Eden, just had a fig leaf. That's how little coverage it was.
That's true.
They just barely covered.
Yeah. I felt positive. 28.
I felt like I was very exposed.
Right.
Had a little coverage, barely exposed.
a lot of breeze.
It was awfully windy.
It's been a long show.
Say that again.
You got anything else you want to cover?
I don't think so. I mean, we're just barely covered as it is.
Wesley?
No, I'm good.
I'm glad football season's back.
We didn't talk about how sad it made Wes that Tennessee got beat. We know he's a Vols fan.
Well, we didn't hear from him all night.
He was sad.
Yeah.
Morning. You think he was crying into his Smokey the dog stuffed pillow and his Peyton Manning
jersey? It was like his Rocky Top, you always be oh sweet home to me.
You know, and I never heard anything back from. I'm disappointed in you, Adam. That I said I'll be damned if I'm ever going to pick West Virginia, and they put the smackdown on Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
right?
they did.
He had an opportunity to say something. Never did. I'm disappointed in you.
I think he was too shocked they won.
Right.
But Pittsburgh isn't the team they were a year ago either.
Oh, they're not the team they were.
He's probably like, daggone it, Neil
Brown's going to save his job.
I was going to say Neil Payne.
Well,
Neil Brown's going to save his daggone job.
I mean, it's like Baker playing well down in Tampa Bay. He's wanting that number one pick, and here Baker is going out and being a dog.
The quarterback of Tampa.
Baker Mayfield.
No. He's the quarterback of Tampa.
Who is named Baker Mayfield?
His name is the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's like the Washington football team.
If that quarterback gets a progressive commercial, then maybe you have to drop his
They'll
name.
be if they start doing some funny progressive commercials, I might be a fan.
Right.
Is he still with them?
I don't know. They probably evicted him. Canceled his coverage.
I'm telling you, Progressive missed out on that opportunity.
And there's not a lot of coverage.
There's not.
Not in this show.
All right, well, guys, that was another great show as always. Again, thanks to Hayden for coming on at the beginning of the show, and I'm glad football's back. It gives us a lot to talk about.
Birthday cakes suck.
And yeah, better luck in the losers bracket. Birthday cake.
Crying Johnny's coming up. Stay safe, friends.
Fatality.
The Moco Four Horsemen would like to thank you for listening to From Corner to Corner. Be sure to go out and follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, and even YouTube. Whatever podcast platform that you listen to us on, be sure to go out and give us a 5-star review. Thanks as always, and we look forward to seeing you next week.